Good evening. This is the 21st Watchman's Channel, and I'm Lynette. And today we're in the Bible once again, and it's about time, which is a 1 year long chronological Bible study. And we're in the book of Proverbs. Yesterday, Sister Trudy did Proverbs 1 through 3, and I'm going to hit you up today with Proverbs 4 through 6. How about that? What a blessing. So it starts off, talking to us about it's about wisdom and how important wisdom is. So this is Solomon talking to his sons. We're ready? Let's go. I'm going to read from the NKJV, which is the New King James Version, and see how far we get today. Hear, my children, the instruction of a father, and give attention to know understanding. So you have to try to know understanding. He's letting you know how important understanding is. You can hear a lot of stuff, but you don't understand it. It's a waste of time. It's like the same reading comprehension. Kids can read the words, but if they don't comprehend what they're reading, it's a waste of time. Uh, For I give you good doctrine. Do not forsake my law. When I was my father's son, tender and the only one in the sight of my mother, he also taught me and said to me, let your heart retain my words. Keep my commands and live. The commandments will bring life to you. That's why it's so important to get and to make sure you understand it. That's why when he's teaching you something, make sure you get that understanding, to know understanding. Know, make sure that you're intimate with understanding. Make sure you really do. He also taught me and said to me, let your heart retain my words, keep my commands, and live again. Get wisdom, get understanding. So this is an aggressive thing that you need to get. Get wisdom, get understanding. It's not something I heard Chuck Missler say that we don't, Christianity is not just a bunch of denial, since we have to deny ourselves, deny this, don't do that. It's a bunch of, it's a lifestyle which we have to go after aggressively. We have to get wisdom. We're on a hunt. We're searching. It's uh, like we're assassins looking for wisdom, and everything else we have to shoot it down. We don't want folly. We don't want foolishness. We don't want wickedness. We are shooting those things and we're fleeing from them. We're running in this race, and we're trying to get where wisdom is. We're going through this maze of life, and we're trying to find the little curves and hedges and little shrubs or whatever it is, the different areas that have wisdom. We're trying to get wisdom and get understanding. Christianity is an aggressive situation. It's an aggressive fight. It's an aggressive position. We are aggressors. We're on the offense. It's not just defense. It's mostly offense, and we have to go get wisdom. We have to go get understanding. That's what it's saying here. Says, do not forget nor turn away from the words of my mouth. Can't forget stuff. Don't turn away from. He's saying, do not forsake her, and she will preserve you. So we're also in a metaphorically making wisdom and also wickedness. We're putting them uh, in the gender of a female. So it's not but it's just excuse me. And here we go. Pardon me. We're just giving that uh, you know that out there to let you know that's the reason why. So it says, do not forsake her, and she will preserve you. Love her, and she will keep you. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom. We have to get wisdom. It's first and foremost. It didn't tell you to get love. It didn't tell you to get anything else. Wisdom is the most important thing that you should attain. If you are wise, you've got everything else. Clearly, that's what got Solomon his riches, because he asked the Lord for wisdom. We have to diligently go after. I mean, and vigilantly, not just diligently, not just I'm going to do it every day. Vigilantly, I'm fighting for this bad boy. I'm a vigilante for this bad boy. I'm no matter what, I want to be wise. It's really, really important to get wisdom. It says, therefore get wisdom, and in all your getting, get understanding. So you need to get wisdom and understanding. They are synonymous, and they are equal. Because knowing the words and not understanding how it applies to life, and how you're able to navigate things based on the words that you heard, the commands you heard from the Father. If you don't understand um, what fornication is, or you don't understand what adultery is it just sex, a physical act, or is it more than that? Is it the phone calls? Is it the text messages outside the marriage? Have I already done it in my heart prior to me actually committing a an act? When did I step over the line? All of and so I have to know. I don't just say, okay, I'm thinking it's just this one thing because I know what the words say. But when I have the understanding, then I understand that it's more than that. There's implications. I know to go to the Hebrew. I know to go to the Greek. I know to look at what the actual uh, the the I guess the main scriptures, the ones, the original scriptures. I know what the original writings are saying, and so I'm able to interpret more fully what this is passage is supposed to mean, and on what this commandment is supposed to mean, how it applies in my life. That's what he's talking about doing. It says exalt her. It means you need to exalt her, and she will promote you. If you say wisdom is important, wisdom will promote you. That's what happened. And it's just really important that we get wisdom. I'll keep saying it. She will bring you honor when you embrace her. She will place on your head an ornament of grace. Wisdom brings grace. See the benefits of wisdom. It will promote you. It will if you embrace her, and it will place on your head an ornament of grace, a crown of glory. She will deliver to you. So you get a crown of glory. She will. There's some benefits to wisdom. You've got to go get this bad boy. Hear my son and receive my sayings. Don't just hear me and receive it. Take it in. A lot of times we hear stuff, but we're not about that life. We don't really want to. You don't hear me though. You don't hear me though. Yes, I need you to hear me though. It's really important that you not just hear, but in here. I need it to sink in. And hear my son and receive my sayings, and the years of your life will be many. Wisdom will add years to and listening to wisdom, and hearing it and receiving it will add years to your life. I have taught you in the way of wisdom. I have led you in right paths. When you walk, your steps will not be hindered. Wisdom will not allow your steps to be hindered. You will keep moving forward. You will not get in a stagnant state. You will not procrastinate. You will keep moving forward if you use wisdom. Wisdom moves you forward. People say, "Oh, I just been in this place for so long." You will not. You will be constantly moving if you're using wisdom. That's what wisdom will do. It will. Sometimes it may not look like you're moving, but you are moving. You're still on this, like the people movers they have in the airports. You're still moving forward. You're not stuck on an escalator. You are moving forward. Whether you might not be upward to where you're thinking, but it's still moving forward. Wisdom moves you. You break and stop when you are not using wisdom. Still moving on. It says, when you run, you will not stumble. You won't even stumble. Wisdom causes you not to stumble. It already said you're going to keep moving forward, but when you run, you won't even stumble. There's no tripping up. I slipped up. When you're using wisdom, you will not stumble either. Everything is going your way as long as you get wisdom and you get understanding. Get it. You got to go for it every day. That has to be a decision in every area. Wisdom. What's the thing? What should I do? Where should I go? What do I say this to this person? Every thought should be thought in it shouldn't be an automaticity. It should be wisdom should be our go-to. Whatever the word says. And we're talking about divine wisdom. I'm not talking about worldly wisdom. You have to do divine wisdom. Still going on. Take firm hold of instruction. So somebody's teaching you something, listen to what they're saying. Do not let go. Keep her, for she is your life. Instruction is your life. You got to keep learning. You have to be a lifelong learner. You can't say I know it all. A know it all gets nowhere, because a know it all where are you going? How can you get, you can't, there's no way you could know it all. God is too big for us to know, and his ways are too massive for us to know everything. So we have to be a lifelong learner. Do not enter the path of the wicked. All right, now. That's one thing. That's the first wise lesson. Do not enter. We already had to listen. Now, this is what we do not do. Do not enter the path. So you see, this is we went through the for the first 13 verses were all the things that we should do. So Christianity is not a book of do nots. Now this is a bunch of do's. What you should do. Now is what you do not. Do not enter the path of the wicked, and do not walk in the way of evil. Do not. Do not. Do not walk over there. You know what the wicked? No, you know when it's wicked. You know they're gonna be. It's gonna be a real party. Party over here. Do you really want to go to the party? Who's going to be at the party? You assess whether or not you should go by who's going to be there. Who's been invited? What's the purpose of the party? Is it a birthday party to celebrate somebody? But are they going to be doing things you should not be doing? And then you maybe need to send your gift and not go. I'm just saying these are thoughts. I I I can't say that they're maybe not your thoughts, but that's it's wisdom. You look at what's going to be going on at the party and whether or not you have any business being there. Is it a good witness for the Lord? Is it a good witness for the people that you're around that you disciple? Is it a good witness, or is it something that's going to make you slip? Do you need to be somewhere where you're going to slip? You already had a drinking problem. They're going to be serving up alcohol all day. Do you need to go there though? Just gave that up. If that's an area of weakness, don't go. You have to know. You have to use wisdom. It says avoid it. Do not travel on it. This is the path. It says do not walk on the way of evil. Avoid it. Avoid evil. Avoid wicked, and do not travel on it. Turn away from it and pass on. Turn away from when you see it coming. I have an issue. I think I can handle things I cannot, and it's just not doing me any good. And so I have to stop. That's a thing. They're nice people. They're just on the way. They're going to get there eventually. I am not anybody's savior. I can tell them what the word is, but they have to make a choice. Wisdom is a choice. See, we have to go get it. And if they're not trying to get it, I need to be avoiding, because there's only wisdom and then there's other stuff. It's only two choices. It's wisdom and then there's the other stuff. Let's still keep going. For they do not sleep unless they have done evil. Come on now. And their sleep is taken away unless they make someone fall. There are people out there looking to make you fall. And they may not look at it as you falling. They may just see it as you need to have some fun. You need to loosen up. You need to, you work too much. Let's just be free for once. My friend. In Christ, there is freedom. He who the King has freed is free indeed. He has freed us from sin with his blood. Let us stay there. Anything else, the freedom that they're talking about, that's not wisdom. We don't want any parts of that. Still moving on. My. It says, for they eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence. They do. But the path of the just is like the shining sun that shines ever brighter unto the perfect day. The way of the wicked is like darkness. They do not know what makes them stumble. They don't even know what makes them stumble. We know that what did we say earlier? If in verse 12, and when you run, you will not stumble. When you walk, your steps will not be hindered. That's what we know about being wise. We know that the wicked, they don't even know what makes them stumble. We know that the only way we won't stumble is if we're using wisdom. If we got the wisdom and we have gotten the understanding. That's why we don't want to stumble. How many of you stumbled before? How many of you, tripped and slipped? I don't want to do that anymore. So me and wisdom. I'm always looking for instruction. Did I do this right? Did I say this right? Did I, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to look and check myself. I want to make sure that I'm good because I don't want to stumble. Why would anybody want to stumble? These are my thoughts. All right. My son, give attention to my words. Incline your ear to my sayings. Give attention and incline your ear. Pay attention, incline your ear. Do not let them depart from your eyes. You got to keep your eyes on wisdom and your words and the instruction. That means you got to read this word every day. Read this word every day. Do not let it depart from your eyes. It says, and health, keep them in the midst of your heart. In the midst of your mind, You're looking for wisdom and these wise sayings all the time. How do you do that? To replay it over and over and over again. This is why we do this on YouTube. So you can always replay this. We want you to win because we want to win. We are co-laborers in this life for you. I mean, with you. So we do understand how this goes. So please know that, the struggle is real for all of us. But the way that we keep ourselves accountable and to keep ourselves on the right path and keep from stumbling is to be in the word every day. And that's why we're in this word every day. And we have been for well over 100 and some odd days. We're in 6 months in, we're in. So, please know that we take this work seriously. All right, still going. For they are life. These are the words. For they are life to those who find them and health to all their flesh. Keep your heart with all diligence. That's the most important thing you have above your family, above your job, above your spouse is your heart. That is what you need to be the utmost steward over, because that's what the entities are fighting for. Your heart. The Lord wants your heart because He wants you to love you with love. He wants you to love Him with all your heart and soul, all your heart. And the enemy wants you. He wants your heart too. That he wants that. So you have to guard your heart. That's why it's so important. Your heart is the most important thing that you have. It really is. Then comes the spouse because that's part of you, flesh of your flesh and all of that. And then comes the, family and job and whatever else. But your heart is the most important thing. This is the word. It says this. Why would it tell you to guard it with no? Look at what it says. Keep your heart with all diligence. All your diligence. Come on now. That's a lot. For out of it spring the issues of life. Everything's come from the heart. The heart's not here, it's here. All the issues of life come from the heart. As a man thinketh, so is he. All of this comes from the heart. It's in the heart. It just, it's the word. Put away from you a deceitful mouth. Stop lying. And put perverse lips far from you. Stop cussing. Stop saying bad things. Let's just stop. Let your eyes look straight ahead. Keep your eyes straight ahead. Don't look to the left or the right. Because we got stuff to do. There's wisdom to get. We're in this maze of life, and it's got too many pivots and turns and whatever else. We've got to be ready. And the way we can, if we looking straight ahead, we'll get where we're supposed to go. And we're only keeping our eyes on the Lord. That's where we keep our eyes. It's like a horse that's being ridden by a jockey going for this race. That horse's eyes are fixed on the finish line. That he's not looking over there, or she's not looking over there to the horse to the left in the other lane, or the horse in the right in that other lane. That horse is only fixated on the finish line, and that's how you get to where the excuse me, the jockey is aware of all that's going on. But we have to make sure that we're clear that we are the horses in this instance. We're not necessarily the jockeys. We have to run this like a race that we're not concerned about anybody else. It's your race. Your race is individual. You're not trying to get anywhere faster than anybody else. You're just trying to finish. You're not competing with anybody else. You're only making sure that you guard your heart. So because each of us has our own race. So we're not racing. There's nobody else in the lanes next to us. If there are, we're joining hands trying to bring all of us across the finish line. We're not competing against each other. We're working together so that we can make sure that all of us get across the finish line. It is not a competitive situation. Except for the entities that are competing for our hearts, but we are running together. We are joining together because we're all running our own individual races, and we're iron sharpening iron, trying to make sure that we all get through. That's the purpose. So that's what we're talking about. So I'm still going. So sorry. Let your eyes look straight ahead and your eyelids look right before you. But please don't forget 423. You know, you keep your heart with all diligence, for out of it spring the issues of life. That's the most important verse of this chapter. It is. Um, Ponder the path of your feet and let all your ways be established. Know where you're going. Think about where you're going. Where are your feet going? Where are you taking yourself? I want to just get this. I'm only gonna work at the club for a little while to get myself together. I'm only gonna go to go do something illegal. I'm going to sell bonds illegally. I'm going to do this just for a little while. Where are you going? Let God direct you. Make sure your feet are firmly established in the right way. Don't make sure you know that God needs to be, your course director, with your path director, your guide, if for lack of a better term. I'm going. Do not turn to the right or the left. Remove your foot from evil. That is the lesson for chapter 4. Wonderful chapter. Love it. Chapter 5. My son, pay attention to my wisdom. He back there. Because wisdom is everything. These first 9 chapters are about wisdom. They're about wisdom. Lend your ear to my understanding. Come on, to my understanding. So you might not have your own, because he told him to get his understanding in chapter 4. Now I want you to listen to my understanding. Here's what happened to me, dude. If you don't even get your own thing, you haven't even gotten it together yet. Let me tell you what I've learned in this life. Get my understanding. Lend your ear. Hear this part. Then you may preserve discretion, right? Decide, bruh. And your lips may keep knowledge. Because if you heard a lot of times how do we overcome? By the blood of the Lamb and the words of my testimony. He's giving his testimony to help somebody else overcome. Oh, I see how so and so did it. So Daddy Solomon's trying to tell his son, here's what I did, and here's this is how I got over, bruh. This is what I did. This is what I understand. For the lips of an immoral woman drip honey, and her mouth is smoother than oil. All right, here we go into somebody that's immoral, somebody that's trying to catch you slipping or trying to get you to slip. But in the end, she is bitter as wormwood. So she sounds like she's good. She seems like a good thing, but she's bitter as wormwood, sharp as a two-edged sword. Wow. Now, that sounds like remember the word divides, rightly divides, sharper than any two-edged sword. This is saying that the woman's mouth is that way too. Her feet go to death. They're going to Sheol. Her feet's going to Sheol. Her steps lay hold of hell. Like I said, lest you ponder her path of life. Her ways are unstable. You do not know them. You do not know them because see the contrast that we have in chapter 4 with wisdom. There was no stumbling. You understood the way you were going. You got it because you got understanding. You got wisdom, and everything was straight. And your steps weren't going to be hindered. Here, your feet are going to go down to death. Her steps lay hold of hell. Her ways are unstable. There's nothing unstable. There's no tripping. There's no stumbling with wisdom. But on a sharp contrast to the other thing. Therefore, hear me now, my children, and do not depart from the words of my mouth. Remove your way far from her, and do not go near the door of her house. Please do not go near to the door of her house, lest you give your honor to others. What you had is going to be taken from you. All that you had is going to be taken. You're going to be canceled by your own, and they're going to laugh at you like they did with our boy, good grief, Samson, who was ridiculed after he gave his honor away. That's what he did. He gave his honor away, and that's what he's saying. And Samson's a perfect person to use as an example in this particular way. He definitely did not go far from wickedness. He walked that walk. It was a very sad story. He was a judge, and his mother prayed for his life and for him to have for her to have him. And then this is what happened. How unfortunate. These are my thoughts. All right, but there are everybody didn't do it right in the Bible. That's the beauty of the Bible. Everybody didn't do it right, and so we see the examples of the good and the great ones, and we see the ones that had a great calling on their lives, like all of us do. And then we see their disappointment and shame, like some of us end up having. But we don't have to have that. We get the rebound with Jesus. Let's rebound. Let's just rebound. I'm going to keep on going. It says, remove your way from far from her and do not go near the door of her house, lest you give your honor to others and your years to the cruel one. You're gonna waste some time. Your years are gonna go. You're gonna waste time and give them away. It might be that you went to jail because you slipped up and you lost 10 years of your life. You had to do that time. You get canceled for a period of time and you lose that time when you could be a witness. You slip up and you lose that time. Whether it be adultery or whatever, and you lose that time with your children. You divorce without the right reason, and you lose that time with family, and you slip up and you're in ministry and you lose your church. There are so many slip ups that could happen, and the cruel one takes your years because the cruel one wants to make sure that you are lost and out here in these streets. That's what happens. Look at Can we say this? Can we say Moses? Moses lost some time. He lived a ripe old age and still wasn't able to see the promised land that he led them out of Egypt to get to. He wasn't able to experience it because the cruel one and his missteps and his uh sometimes his anger or his zealousness got him in trouble. He wasn't using wisdom with everything he did. He didn't always follow God's exact instructions, and it got him in trouble. And the cruel one took those years from him. We don't want the cruel ones to take any of our years. Let us be wise in our decision making. Everything. If you don't know, ask somebody. They say, you better ask somebody. Ask somebody. I'm just saying, ask them. All right. It says, lest aliens be filled with your wealth. Yes, they will. And your labors go to the house of a foreigner, and you mourn at last, when your flesh and your body are consumed, and say, how I have hated instruction, and my heart despised correction. I have not obeyed the voice of my teachers, nor inclined my ear to those who instructed me. I was on the verge of total ruin in the midst of the assembly and congregation, in front of everybody, in front of all the church members, all the members know, everybody. Drink water from your own cistern and running water from your own well. Now here we go. This is about your sex life. This is not what you think it is. Stay in your own lane. Stay with your own wife. Drink water from your own cistern. Stay with your own wife, and running water from your own well. Should your fountains be dispersed abroad, streams of water in the streets? Don't go out and make babies with everybody else. Your fountains shouldn't be everywhere. Stay within your marriage. Streams of water in the streets, let them be only your own. Let them be only your own wives or your own husbands, children, and not for strangers with you. Please do not bring strangers into your situation. And women cheat as much as men. It's just more publicized. We don't let people into our wells. Exactly. We don't do any dipping, and we don't let anybody dip here. We don't mix. We're with who we're supposed to be with, and we wait until marriage. We're going to do it the godly way. Let your fountains be blessed. Your fountain will be blessed. That fountain of semen, sperm. Sorry, just being graphic. Those fountains need to be. They'll be blessed if they're with the woman of God's choice, or in that thing. And rejoice with the wife of your youth. That's what it says. As a loving deer and a graceful doe, let her breast satisfy you at all times, and always be enraptured with her love. You need to be excited about who you're with. Let that person be the one that the marriage is to be enjoyed, and that marriage bed is supposed to be enjoyed, but it's supposed to be enjoyed with the person that you married, not anybody outside the marriage. Let that person satisfy you at all times. Let that person's and be enraptured in that person's love. For why should you, my son, be enraptured by an immoral woman and be embraced in the arms of a seductress? Why are you out there? We can't beat that little song. I remember it. My. I've got hoes in different area codes. I know, not the best little ditty, not the psalm that you probably would have thought. But I'm saying there's that song, and we shouldn't be having them in different area codes, women or men. For the ways of a man are before the eyes of the Lord. So the Lord sees everything, and He ponders all his past. Listen to what it says. For the ways of man are before the eyes of the Lord. In other words, the Lord sees everything, and He ponders all his past. His own iniquities entrap the wicked man, and he is caught in the cords of his sin. You will get caught up in your sin. He shall die for lack of instruction, and in the greatness of his folly he shall go astray. Chapter 6. Here we go. It says he shall die for lack of instruction. How unfortunate. We ended chapter, and that's chapter 5. That's what it says. Chapter 4 put down, it told us before to do not turn to the right or the left, remove your foot from evil. It's letting us know how important you'll get saved if you move from evil. This one right here is telling you what's going to happen to you if you're going to die for lack of instruction. This is gotta know, get it, or die for lack of instruction. Get the wisdom, get the understanding, or die for lack of instruction. Chapter 6, last one. My son, if you become surety for your friend. All right, here we go. Don't co-sign. If you become the co-signer for your friend, pledge, if you have shaken hands in pledge for a stranger, you are snared by the words of your mouth. You said too much. You put yourself in a trap. Do not co-sign. You are taken by the words of your mouth. It says again. So do this, my son, and deliver yourself, for you have come into the hand of your friend. Your friend has snared you. Do not co-sign. No co-sign. It's what it's saying here. Go and humble yourself. Plead with your friend. You do not give no sleep to your eyes. In other words, you do not rest. Deliver yourself like a gazelle from the hand of the hunter, and like a bird from the hand of the fowler. How long will you? Excuse me. Go to the ant. So it's telling you that you cannot do it. So I'm bottom line. Deliver yourself. You've ensnared yourself. No matter how much you want to do it and whatever else, the Lord's saying no. That's wisdom. This is a book of wisdom. It's not necessarily, it might sound bad, but it's wisdom. God knows. You can barely, you might have an issue with paying your own debt. And you signed for this car, nice car, might even be a used car, but they're going to come after you if so and so doesn't pay it, because God's word is true and it's sure. You're going to have to deal with their debt at some point. They might skip a payment or miss a payment or whatever life might happen. And that's your credit score as well. You've got to, and they might take your family's home. You don't know. Do not do it. And it's not just co-signing the bail money. You got to put up the house to make sure that so and so gets out on bail. It just says, if you become a surety for your friend, if you have shaken hand and pledged for a stranger, you are snared by the words of your mouth. You are taken by the words of your mouth. So do this, my son, and deliver yourself. Bottom line. It's telling you not to do it. Bottom line. Next verse 6. Go to the ant, you sluggard. Let's look. Anybody that's lazy, go to the ant. Right? Don't set yourself up co-signing. Go to the ant, you sluggard. Consider her ways and be wise. The ant is like into a woman now, because the ant is wise. Wisdom is a woman, which having no captain, overseer, or ruler, provides her supplies in the summer and gathers her food in the harvest. A lot of us need accountability partners. We like that, but a wise person doesn't need any accountability, doesn't need an overseer, doesn't need anybody to tell them to do the right thing. That's what the ant is. The ant knows to gather supplies in the summer and gathers her food in the and gathers her food in the harvest. Knows already. The ant already takes care of that business. How long will you slumber, O sluggard? You can't keep being lazy. If the ant can do it, what are we doing? When will you rise from your sleep? A little sleep, a little slumber. Those of you that need to sleep all day, I just need my beauty rest. How much more beautiful are you going to be before? I'm just saying, if you can't shorten that nap. I'm not saying you shouldn't get at least 5, 6 hours, but do you need 10? Really? Do you? I just want you to think about that and how much of the day you're missing. It's just important. This is the word. It says, a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to sleep. So shall your poverty come on you like a prowler, and your need like an armed man. If you do not, if you do not um, get up and stop being lazy, because he's liking the sleeping a lot to being lazy, and if you do not get up and start doing what you need to do, because there are things that we have to gather. There's wisdom to get. There's things to gather. He's given us opportunities. The day is it's only so bright for so long. We need to get while the getting is good, because a lot of things happen at night, and a lot of safety is not happening at night. So we need to get things done during the daytime. He's saying not to waste the day. Moving on. Oh, verse 12. A worthless person, a wicked man, walks with a perverse mouth. So perversity is a perverse mouth is considered wickedness. He winks with his eyes. He shuffles his feet. He points with his fingers. Perversity is in his heart. What are we guarding? What are the things that we're guarding the most? We're protecting and keeping our heart with all diligence, because that's the most important thing. It says right here in verse 14, perversity is in his heart. He divides evil continually. He sows discord. Therefore, his calamity shall come suddenly. Whenever you're sowing discord, your calamity will come suddenly. Suddenly shall be broken without remedy. You won't be able to help the person that is sowing discord. The messy person, you will not be able to help them. They will be broken without remedy. That's the word. Because perversity is in their heart and they devise evil. The messy person is always trying to be messy and trying to keep stuff going. What Michael Jackson said it best: you want to be starting, you got to be starting something. Got to be starting something. Got to stop. These 6 things the Lord hates. Oh my, verse 16. Yes, 7 are an abomination to him: a proud look, a lying tongue, hands that shed innocent blood, a heart that devises wicked plans. Can't be messy. God doesn't want wicked plans. God doesn't want you to be the mastermind behind the criminal situation. God doesn't want you to get the whole to make the tea and spill it. If you making the tea, that means you're devising the wicked plan. And if you're spilling the tea, then you the lying tongue. Come on now. All right. Feet that are swift in running to evil. Remember, we're not supposed to be on that path. Chapter 4, verse 31 says, do not turn to the right or the left. Remove your foot from evil. That's chapter 4. That's chapter 4, verse 27. It said, do not do that, because we're trying to be wise. This right here says God hates that. That's number 5. A false witness who speaks lies. Now, we already said a lying tongue. That was number 2. Now we back on the false things. You a lie. You lied on somebody, and so it's not just you just lie. Then you lying on somebody. Don't lie on me. You lying to me about some stuff that might have happened, but now you're lying on me. God don't like that. And one who sowed discord among brethren. Ah. God doesn't like that. Those are the 7 things. It says, and they're abominations to him. Six things he hates, but yes, seven are an abomination to him. He doesn't like that. You can't be messy. God doesn't want messy. So all the little messiness we see happening in the church, and they want to be mother so and so, sister so and so, brother so and so, saying this stuff, deacon so and so. That God doesn't like any of that foolishness. What's who else can I say? The uh our nice little papers that we little gossip things that we like to watch and whatever else. We shouldn't be watching those. We shouldn't be in the shade room. We shouldn't be in there. What health does that bring to anybody? That's sowing discord. So and so doesn't like so and so. I was listening to something today, just passing by on TikTok, and it became a Nia Long versus Taraji P Henson shade room thing. And this person, I'm like, what am I doing? I like both of the actresses, and I just happened to stop, and I was listening way longer than I should have been. No, 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 we cannot be messy, and we shouldn't be listening to it. We don't want no parts of it. We're fleeing from it. We're turning away from it. How do we do that? By not listening. No participation. Still going. My son, keep your father's command and do not forsake the law of your mother. So don't just, you heard me as the father. This is Solomon. Don't the law and whatever your mama said, do that too. Bind them continually upon your heart. Tie them around your neck. Whatever your mama said, whatever I said, right? Do not forget them, do not forsake them, and make sure that you are tying them or binding them continually around upon your heart. Tie them around your neck. When you roam, they will lead you. When you sleep, they will keep you. You gotta stay in this word. You gotta keep what they told you to do. They're giving you wisdom. They're giving you the benefit of their understanding. The wisdom that they got was, is the word. And then they're giving you their understanding how they applied it. That's even more valuable as well, because the testimony is how we overcome. All right, we're still going. For the commandments, um, sorry. It says, when you sleep, they will keep you, and when you awake, they will speak with you. So they speak with you. Because you're listening to it, you incline your ear to get understanding. And so it's really important. They will speak with you. For the commandment is a lamp, and the law is a light. Yes, the law is a light. The law is a light. Jesus is a light. So Jesus is a law. He's a law fulfilled. Look at that. Foreshadowing right here. Come on now. Commandment is a lamp. The words are a lamp unto our feet and a light into our pathway. Commandment is a lamp. That means Jesus is the commandments fulfilled again. Come on now. Reproofs of instruction are the way of life. Come on now. Reproofs. We got to be able to take reproof. A lot of us can. I don't want nobody telling me anything. I don't want nobody saying nothing to me. I'm too grown for this conversation. We're never too. How are we gonna be too grown for the Lord? We cannot be too grown for the Lord. Um, and and it says reproof, which is a making sure that I'm clear. It's an expression of blame or disapproval. So sometimes God doesn't like that, and so He'll tell you. And it's okay when you get corrected and you get this. This is not. I don't like what you're doing. It's a way of life to keep you from the evil woman, from the flattering tongue of a seductress. Somebody has to tell you. You got to be able to take reproofs and tell people. Somebody tells you that they disapprove of what you're saying. You got to be able to say, and accept the blame. You got to be able to. Okay, I did wrong. You got to be able to take it, and you have to. Whatever it is, you got to own your stuff. That's basically. Do not lust after her beauty in your heart, nor let her allure you with her eyelids. For by means of a harlot, a man is reduced to a crust of bread. Wow. Just a crust. Not even a whole piece, the whole loaf, the crust of the bread. That's how it is. A man's reduced to that just by means of a harlot, by wanting something in your heart so bad. And so that's why what's the most important thing we have? 423 told us that. What did it say? What did 423 say? Keep your heart with all diligence, for out of it spring the issues of life. That's what the enemy is fighting for. He wants your heart. The Lord wants your heart. And trying to love you into a relationship with him and keep it steady. But he wants your heart. He wants you to look, because your heart, everything springs out of that heart. I keep pointing to here because it's just automatic. But your heart is here. He wants your mind. He wants all of that. And when you're whatever you're thinking on, that's what you become. It's so important that we understand whatever we're thinking on. Still going. Can a man take fire to his bosom? Well, I'll go a little further. Go back a little further. For by means of a harlot, and a man is reduced to a crust of bread, and an adulteress will prey upon his precious life. She will on his precious life. Can a man take fire to his bosom and his clothes not be burned? Can one walk on hot clothes and his feet not be seared? So is he who goes into his neighbor's wife. Whoever touches her shall not be innocent. Stay at home, bruh. Stay at home. And that's with everything. Sis, stay at home. Stay at home. He's not that cute. And even if he is, he's not your what you do there. There's a song by Brian McKnight. It's called What We Do Stays, What We Do Here Stays Here. And I want to make it clear, he goes on. And don't have any fear, because what we do stays here. If that's not a lie from the pit, nothing, what the Bible says, what's done in dark will be brought to the light. So it's not going to stay there. And what you do affects you, the partner, your let me see, your spouse. And so the person your partner in crime that you did whatever deed you did with, they're affected. Their children, your witness with your friends, your relationship with your families, everything changes. There's no getting around that. And I don't care how good of a bag of goods somebody sells you, you will not come out of that unscathed. There will be some repercussion. The Bible's clear. Whatever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. You will get it back. You cannot do it in dark and think it's not going to come back to you. And even if it doesn't happen to you necessarily, your kids will see that in their line. You've introduced it to your generation and into your bloodline. Is that what you want? This is not okay. We've got to be better than that. We've got to think far beyond our own. We're still suffering from trauma of our own parents. And so do we not think that introducing that level of sin, because you don't sin, when you sin with the sin in your body, you bring somebody else's, all their essence into you too. That's not okay. We got to run, bro, run, sis, run. I'm just saying. So people do not despise a thief if he steals to satisfy himself when he is starving. So don't be mad at somebody. This is the next one, right? Yet when he is found, he must restore sevenfold. So he's going to have to pay, but don't be mad at him because he's doing this because he's hungry. He may have to give up all the substance of his own. Whoever commits adultery with a woman lacks understanding. What are we supposed to be getting? What the word tells us to do in chapter 4, to get wisdom, to get understanding. It was like, chapter 4, verse 5. Get wisdom, get understanding. It was exclamation points behind that bad boy. Here we said, right now we're saying, whoever commits adultery with a woman lacks understanding. He who does so destroys his own soul. Now, that's what adultery does. It destroys your soul. Your soul. Wounds and dishonor he will get, and his reproach will not be wiped away. For jealousy is a husband's fury. Therefore, he will not spare in the days of vengeance. He will accept no recompense, none. He will not accept. You can't give him nothing to make it go away. He gonna always be mad. He gonna always be trying to get that payback. Payback is that get back, that payback, that whatever it is. He gonna want that back. And there's nothing that you're going to give him that's going to satisfy him. That's the word. That's what it's saying. Nor will he be appeased through, though you give many gifts. I don't care what. You could buy him a house, car. He's still going to be mad. He's still going to try to get you back. Same thing with a woman. You can't tell her nothing about what you. Did you sleep with my man? Ain't nothing you can say. Ain't nothing you can say. You can't be over here. You can't be over here. And every time I see you, I'm gonna be giving you the side eye probably, and it might just be on sight whenever I see you. You just be prepared for that whooping. I'm just saying, it's just I don't know. Especially if I stay with old boy. I mean, I might divorce him, but if I'm staying with him, it might be on sight. I'm just saying for others, maybe not me, but there's nothing for me. There's just really nothing you could say. You know, I'm so sorry, girl. Really? You just sorry? My family, my kids, me? Ah, it's just nothing you can say. This is a word. The word says nothing you can say. That was not. That's definitely not. That's the word. Well, I bet you something else. The Lord's saying right now that He wants to have a relationship with you right now. We're gonna move out of that from 4, 5, and 6. We see what's happening here. We see wisdom versus wickedness, and so the wise thing to do, the wisdom is calling for you right now. Wisdom, which is Jesus, is calling for you right now. And so, if you would like to be wise in all your ways and you want to get some understanding, I invite you into say this salvation prayer with me right now. And we're going to get this done because I want you to be wise. Father, it is written in your word that if I confess with my mouth that Jesus is Lord and um, and believe in my heart that you have raised him from the dead, I shall be saved. Therefore, Father, I confess that Jesus is my Lord. I make him Lord of my life right now. I believe in my heart that you raised Jesus from the dead, and I renounce my past life with Satan and close the door to any and all of his devices. I thank you, Lord, for forgiving me of my sins. Jesus is my Lord, and I am a new creation. For behold, old things have passed away, and all things are new. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. If you have prayed this prayer with me, you are wise. And God is excited. And I promise you, you are welcome into the family of Christ. If you do not have a church home in your area, please put your name and your city in the chat, and we will help you find a a church home locally for you because we have members all over the country. And if you do have a church home, put your name in the chat so we can rejoice with you. We are excited about your coming on in or returning, whichever it was. We're excited. We're excited. We're excited. God bless you. Tune in tomorrow. We're going to go a little deeper into the book of Proverbs, but this is a book of wisdom, and it's our manual for wisdom. The whole word is for sure, but this one has like little bullet points of wisdom. We need these every day. I would encourage you to read a proverb a day. Today is June the 17th. And so I would be reading Proverbs 17 and, make that a part of your thing. And every month you start all over again so that you can keep them written on your heart so that you will not sin against the Lord and you have, it bound around your neck, the laws of your Father. All right. And the sayings and inclining your ear. God bless you. You have a great rest of your day. It's going to be good and you're going to be wise. Me too.